For CBS Entertainment, I'm Matt Wolf.
Hey, it's CBS News business analyst and certified financial planner Jill Schlesinger. Follow and listen to Money Watch with Jill Schlesinger on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
WGNS.
This is Peter Demas, and here is this week's Demas's Emergency Responder of the Week.
Murfreesboro police officer and SRO Cole Glass was on a bike patrol when he noticed a child struggling with a broken bike chain. The boy, visibly frustrated, told Glass the chain came off. Without hesitation, Glass knelt and fixed it, and the moment became a small but powerful reminder of the heart behind the badge. Murfreesboro police officer Cole Glass's response exemplifies the kind of everyday heroism that often goes unnoticed. A willingness to pause, engage, and uplift a neighbor in need.
When you see a firefighter, police officer, paramedic, or telecommunicator going the extra mile, let WGNS know, and we at Demas's Restaurant will salute them as the Emergency Responder of the Week.
This is a TVA Minute. The Tennessee Valley Authority began 2026 by naming its Engineer of the Year. At a ceremony in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Jonathan Sides received the Engineer of the Year award, celebrating his work on the transmission team to improve reliability across the grid. Sides is just one of TVA's engineers who works every day to make life better for the people of the region. TVA President and CEO Don Maw.
For more than 90 years, TVA engineers have designed and built a diverse power generation system and a complex river management and dam system that prevents flooding in communities all along the Tennessee River system, while also providing hydro power.
Engineering jobs at TVA are posted at tva.com/careers, and more information on STEM education opportunities can be found at tva.com/learn. That's the TVA Minute. I'm Adam May.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at WGNSradio.com. This is Rutherford Issues, hitting right at what matters most to all of us here in the heart of Tennessee. From Murfreesboro to Smyrna, Eagleville to Laverne, Leanna to Barfield, and everywhere in between. If it matters to you, you'll hear about it here on Rutherford Issues. Now your host, Bryan Barrett.
Well, hey, hi, and hello there, fun lovers and truth seekers. Bryan Barrett here with you on a wonderful Wednesday. 21 days into a brand new year. Hope today's going well for you. It's a busy day. Got a lot of things going on. Watching the weather, of course. And one thing that we do need to remind you about, we do have this on WGNSradio.com, and we told you about it during the roundtable. A precautionary hold is in place at Riverdale High School this morning. This after local law enforcement received a call about a possible threat against the campus. An incident schools official says now appears to be unfounded. Now, according to Rutherford County Schools, the call was received earlier this morning by law enforcement dispatch, prompting an immediate response from school administration, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office SROs who were already at the school, and Murfreesboro Police. Riverdale is on Warrior Drive between South Church and Highway 99, by the way, if you're new to the area. In an email sent to WGNS Radio and later shared publicly, district spokesperson and Chief Communications Officer James Evans said the district acted out of an abundance of caution. It appears to be a false call, he said, but we have placed the school on a precautionary hold until the situation is thoroughly investigated. So if you've been by that area and you have seen an increase in police presence, that is why. But again, no injuries reported, no arrests have been announced at this point. And again, this seems to be being done as a precaution out of an abundance of caution. So we'll share more information on that as we get it. WGNSradio.com, a great source for all of the breaking news. We're coming to you from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, and MTE's reminding you to nudge down that thermostat just a scotch, right, to stay comfortable, enough where you're comfortable, of course. But it's a simple way to save on heating cost and reduce strain on your system. More energy-saving tips at mte.com/myenergyplan. It is definitely going to be a very interesting weather weekend, and next week going to be very cold and some frozen precipitation in the area. No doubt we've got a winter storm headed our way. That is right now trying to nail down exactly what that's looking like is becoming a challenge more and more each day. But we are going to talk a little bit about that here in just a second, okay? So hang in for that info. We are saying good morning to Ollie McGregor today, our birthday club winner. Someone told us that it's a pretty big birthday for you, Ollie, so hope it's a great one. I know it will be. Maybe you get to celebrate with some gifts and time with family, but we're going to add to that. The birthday fairy this morning chose you as the winner of the banana pudding from Slick Pig Barbecue. So how about that? Congratulations. Enjoy the delicious banana pudding. Celebrate your birthday in a big way, Ollie. You know, banana pudding all the way. No candle needed. It's going to be gone before the candle, you know. Slick Pig is at 1920 East Main. They're open every Tuesday through Saturday. Celebrate your birthday there or just celebrate a good meal. Wings, ribs, barbecue, and, of course, delicious desserts, including banana pudding. Our good neighbor of the day today for this Wednesday, Ryan St. Peter, the SRM Concrete Good Neighbor of the Day, for being an outstanding firefighter who keeps calm during very stressful situations. Ryan St. Peter today, the recipient of flowers from Jenny Harrison and our friends at Ryan Flowers Coffee and Gifts on South Academy and WGNS Radio. So congratulations to Ryan St. Peter, our winner today. Today's Good Neighbor Moment brought to you by SRM Concrete, locally grown, nationally known, and committed to the people who make Rutherford County a better place to live. Would you like to nominate someone like Ryan as Good Neighbor of the Day? We hope you do, because it's all listener-driven, you know. Text the word NEIGHBOR, N-E-I-G-H-B-O-R, NEIGHBOR, to 615-893-1450. You'll get a reply from us. Just tap on that link, fill out the information. When you're done, click submit. You're done. It is that simple. Yep. You can also get to that same web form at WGNSradio.com. One link, every platform, all local. That's WGNSradio.com/live, where you can choose to listen live on FM 101.9, 100.5, AM 1450, watch on Big GTV on various platforms like YouTube and Facebook. Stream anytime, anywhere. One link, WGNSradio.com/live.
Now, here's your Rutherford weather forecast.
Going to send you outside the palatial studios of WGNS, high atop Broadcast Plaza. This morning, 50 degrees coming in at the Murfreesboro Airport, 48 at the Smyrna Airport. So we've warmed from the 43 from last hour. We've got some big weather on the way, no matter how you shake it. Don't think we're going to have the, 20 inches of snow that some of these weather models have been showing. But unfortunately, I'd rather have all snow than some of this wintry mess that it looks like we're going to have with some snow. Snow, sleet, freezing rain, all possible. We've got a winter storm watch in effect coming up Friday into Saturday, going to snow into Sunday. So let's talk about it, okay? First of all, your short-term details.
Well, Brian, it looks like a winter storm watch will go into effect here Friday night. For this afternoon, though, we'll see periods of rain showers with cloudy skies and a high in the lower 50s. Winds out of the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25. Tonight, a chance for some rain with cloudy skies, a low near 32. Thursday, partial sunshine, high of 48 degrees. And on Friday, we'll have a chance for some snow, cloudy, high of 39. Saturday, a good chance for snow showers, cloudy skies, a high of 25. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki.
Thanks, Jennifer. I wish you had better news, but let's continue here. This is our Rutherford weather radar. It's going to be our friend here, okay, for a bit. Let's first of all talk about the winter storm watch. I may have said a warning. It'll be upgraded to a warning. There's no question about it. We did a video yesterday, and Alex Sizemore at the National Weather Service said this is a slam dunk winter storm warning, okay? The watch, in effect, Friday evening through Sunday afternoon, heavy snow and ice possible. Total snow accumulation over 6 inches, ice accumulations of 1/4 of an inch possible. Now, 1/4 of an inch of ice or more is where we start running into some potential problems in terms of ice storm, okay? So the highest snow accumulations are going to be north of I-40. The higher ice accumulations are favoring areas of the south just south of I-40. And, of course, Rutherford County is right in that transition zone. And you're going to see why. The impacts, power outages, and tree damage are likely due to ice, and travel could be nearly impossible during the weekend. That is the watch language from the National Weather Service. So we're trying to get your attention here. Going to be a very impactful storm, no matter the number of inches of snow you get. Okay, so let's get that taken care of first. Here's one of our Futurecast products. Now, we're having trouble figuring out, and we're talking about, is it 32 degrees? Is it 31.9 degrees? Or is it 32.1 degrees? Okay, I mean, that's what we're dealing with here. The profiles through the atmosphere and all of that. But the trend here on the models, let's go to 3 a.m. on Saturday morning. Snow out west, okay? It's coming in. And the snow stretches all the way back to Oklahoma. So that's why it's going to be a long duration event. Once it starts, we'll be going quite a while with it. 6 a.m., total snow over Rutherford County, most of Middle Tennessee. 9 a.m., snow. 12 p.m., snow. But you can see the purples kind of showing up around the Tennessee-Alabama border, down toward Lynchburg. By 3 p.m., we're still in the snow. But look what happens by about 6. We're seeing some sleet maybe enter into our area. So we've been snowing all day for a good 12 hours and then sleet, right? And then we see that warm nose kind of push through, and this kind of maroon color, that's depicting freezing rain. Midnight, freezing rain. 3 a.m., freezing rain. 6 a.m., freezing rain. 9 a.m., freezing rain. Maybe back to some sleet around midday on Sunday. 3 p.m., and then by 6 p.m., it transitions back to snow and snows another 3-4 hours before pushing on out of the area. That's this one model. Other models, a little more favorable toward the sleet and freezing rain. Some a little more favorable for the snow. Okay? All of this to say it's going to be a wintry mess. But if you get sleet and freezing rain, freezing rain is definitely going to be a problem. I really do. I don't like the trends in terms of the amounts of ice that we're seeing. Again, 1/4 of an inch of ice. It hangs on those power lines. I mean, we're going to be in the 20s, and we're going to have rain. So anything that falls is going to immediately stick. Power lines, tree limbs, and then it's the weight of that, okay? If we have to choose between sleet and freezing rain, it's always sleet, okay? That's going to stick to the surfaces, yes, but not on the trees and power lines, and bringing down limbs onto power lines and power outages. And then you're talking about a sheet of ice on the roads. How are we going to get around, get to warm places, things like, you see what I'm talking about? So that's why we need to be very careful with this storm, and why we've just got our fingers crossed. If we don't get as much snow, we're going to get plenty of snow, I think, but if we don't get as much snow, let's hope that it's sleet and not freezing rain, because it could definitely cause us some problems. We're going to keep on it. I think we're planning on maybe doing another video tonight after the new suite of maybe some high-resolution modeling coming in tonight, I think. So hopefully that will give us a little better idea of what could be happening with this storm system on Friday. But it looks like Friday overnight into early Saturday morning is the onset of this winter storm. And I think it's one of those that we'll remember for a while, it looks like. Just the amount of snow and the amount of ice. Bad, bad, bad. Ice is so bad. I'll never forget 1994. And if you were here, you'll never forget it either. I was in this very radio station on the other side of this room, because that's where the studio desk was. And we wrapped up a tribute to Monty Hale Jr., or Monty Hale Sr., by the way. And I stayed because I didn't think I would be able to get back the next morning. And it was rough. Lots of power outages and things like that. MTE is on it. They're working hard. I know we're gonna be here and we're gonna get through it, right? But check us out on the Rutherford Weather Channel. If you have not been to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, help us grow the channel. Over 3,000 of you saw the forecast we had yesterday. We're going to continue to do that. That's where you can get the latest weather information. And if it's impactful, severe, we're on WGNS radio as well. Rutherford Weather, Ruco Weather on your social platforms. Very active on Facebook, X, and of course YouTube. It's just great. Any device, phone, tablet, computer, TV, you can see it anywhere, okay? So check us out on the YouTube channel as well, at Ruco Weather on all of the platforms, and we will get through this winter situation.
Good day, Rutherford County. This is Lee Colvin, financial advisor and CFP with Edward Jones. Let's get the latest business news from our financial desk.
Wall Street had its worst day since October after markets tumbled Tuesday. It comes as President Trump is not backing down from threats to slap new tariffs on European allies in his push to acquire Greenland. The president's bid is expected to be a major topic when he meets with global and business leaders at the World Economic Forum today and tomorrow in Davos, Switzerland. And Lululemon has pulled its new Get Low leggings from its North American websites after customers complained the fabric was see-through and not squat-proof. The Canada-based company confirmed to CBS News that it temporarily paused online sales in the region to evaluate user feedback. I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 437 points, 48,926. Recovering from a sell-off after President Trump rules out military action on Greenland. The S&P is up 67, 68, 63. NASDAQ ahead 262, 23. 216.
From Wall Street to Church Street, that's the latest business news from the Edward Jones Financial Desk. I'm financial advisor and CFP Lee Colvin. Call 615-907-7056 or stop by our office on South Rutherford Boulevard in the Public Shopping Center.
Rutherford Issues on News Radio WGNS.
We're going to check on the latest world news headlines, and then Dalton's got your Rutherford Roundup all straight ahead here on WGNS. And if you are catching us on Big G TV, our coverage there presented by Murfreesboro Medical Clinic. Since 1949, they've been trusted to care for thousands of families in Rutherford County, more than 20 specialties across several area locations. MMC delivering quality health care that fits your lifestyle. Here's that World News Brief from CBS.
CBS News Brief. At a Republican retreat, President Trump praises the American military strike that put Venezuela's president into U.S. custody.
The United States proved once again that we have the most powerful, most lethal, most sophisticated, and most fearsome. It's a fearsome military on planet Earth.
European leaders say they will not stop defending the territorial integrity of Greenland and are stepping up their presence in the region. CBS's Nancy Cordes.
This was a statement taking direct aim at Donald Trump, basically saying Greenland is a part of Denmark.
House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries holding a hearing today to shine a light on the attack on the U.S. Capitol. Happened 5 years ago today.
Donald Trump and far-right extremists in Congress have repeatedly attempted to rewrite history.
Well, stocks are higher on Wall Street today. CBS News Brief. I'm Steve Kathan.
If you want to get some barbecue, I'll tell you how to do it. Head for the Slick Pig and you're into it. Just walk through the door at 1920 East Main and your nose will send a message right to your brain. Say, smells good. And barbecue. Slick Pig. We got ribs and beans. Got spicy wings. Slick Pig.
A Murfreesboro tradition. 1920 East Main.
SRM Concrete is the largest ready-mix producer in the country, yet is still family-owned and operated. Locally grown, nationally known, SRM delivers unmatched quality and service. You called, we haul. We're SRM Concrete.
Ascension St. Thomas Heart is the leader in Middle Tennessee for heart care, providing the most advanced options, including heart surgery and transplants. Our nationally recognized cardiac team cares for more adult hearts than anyone in the state, from AFib to heart failure, using minimally invasive options when possible to help shorten recovery, making Ascension St. Thomas Heart your first choice for routine heart care and cardiac emergencies. Schedule a heart screening or find a cardiologist at ascension.org/St. Thomas Heart.
I'm Dalton Barrett for News Radio WGNS, and here are some of the top stories impacting Rutherford County on your Rutherford Roundup for Wednesday, January the 21st, 2026. Tennessee lawmakers are considering several controversial bills that could have wide-ranging effects across Rutherford County, including Murfreesboro and Smyrna. House Bill 809 would restrict the availability of farmers and others to sue over illnesses allegedly caused by pesticide exposure, so long as the product is approved by the Environmental Protection Agency. Supporters argued that the bill simply clarifies legal responsibility and protects farmers from increased cost. However, local farmers, including Justin Head of Smokin' Oats Organic Farms, expresses deep concern. Head, who stopped using pesticides in 2014 after experiencing health issues, called the bill comical for implying chemical companies could be shielded from accountability. Jessica Wilson with the Southeast Tennessee Young Farmers Coalition fears that the bill would leave farmers legally vulnerable while protecting large chemical corporations. Meanwhile, lawmakers are also pushing House Bill 1704, which would make it a state crime to remain in Tennessee after receiving a final federal deportation order. Though immigration enforcement is typically under federal jurisdiction, supporters of the bill cite taxpayer burdens and public safety concerns. Tennessee House Speaker Cameron Sexton pointed to crimes committed by undocumented immigrants as justification. Critics argue the proposal mirrors a 2012 Arizona law largely struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court for overstepping state authority. Immigration attorney Bill Gerstein warns that the bill likely violates the Supremacy Clause and sets Tennessee up for legal challenges. The Banning Bostock Act seeks to clarify that the term sex in Tennessee discrimination laws refers strictly to biological sex, male or female, and does not include sexual orientation or gender identity. Sponsored by Representative Gino Bulso and Senator Janice Bowling, the legislation would effectively permit discrimination based on LGBTQ status under state law and preserve sex-segregated spaces like locker rooms and sports teams. A second bill from the same sponsor would allow private citizens and organizations to refuse recognition of same-sex marriages, while shielding attorneys who decline to perform or celebrate them. Bulso insists that the bill merely reaffirms state authority and do not override federal law. But LGBTQ advocates such as Chris Sanders of the Tennessee Equality Project argue that the legislation is dangerous, warning that it could lead to denial of services in critical areas like banking and healthcare. Meanwhile, back home in Murfreesboro, David Ross, age 57, has turned himself in following an indictment by a Rutherford County grand jury. He's accused of stealing between $60,000 and $250,000 while affiliated with at least one nonprofit and faces additional charges related to identity misuse. Ross was briefly held at the Rutherford County Adult Detention Center before being released on a $25,000 bond. He's known for his involvement with First Shot Basketball and the Catalyst program through the United Way. Ross is scheduled to return to court in April. A Murfreesboro woman was injured and a Nashville man killed in a tragic two-vehicle crash early Friday morning in Davidson County. According to Metro Nashville Police, the collision occurred around 2 a.m. on Old Hickory Boulevard at Surmat Avenue. Investigators say that 36-year-old Katara Johnson of Murfreesboro was driving a 2005 Lincoln Grand Marquis westbound and attempted to turn left onto Zermatt Avenue when her vehicle was struck by an oncoming Honda Accord. Police confirmed that neither Johnson nor her passenger, 42-year-old Markeith Miller of Nashville, were wearing seatbelts. Miller died at the scene, while Johnson sustained non-life-threatening injuries and was transported to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. Authorities believe failure to yield the right-of-way was a contributing factor, and the investigation continues to determine if speed or impairment were involved. This crash comes as Rutherford County braces for what could be the most significant winter storm in decades. Bryan Barrett of Rutherford Weather reports that a long-duration snow event beginning on Friday night could paralyze travel throughout Murfreesboro and Smyrna. National Weather Service meteorologist Alex Sizemore warned of 3 inches or more of snow with heavy accumulation Saturday and lingering impacts through early next week. The storm is expected to bring dangerously low temperatures, with single digits possible on Sunday and Monday nights. Officials urge residents to prepare now, as sub-freezing conditions may persist until midweek, extending power outages and hazardous road conditions across Rutherford County. That's all for now. For more updates on these and many more local news stories, be sure to check out our website, WGNSradio.com. You can also follow us on social media at News Radio WGNS on Facebook, as well as X. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to leave a rating or a review on Spotify and iTunes, a comment on YouTube, or share it with a friend. I'm Dalton Barrett for News Radio WGNS, part of your Good Neighbor Network, and I'll talk to you later.
Do your sinus infections always seem to come back no matter what you do? The pressure builds, the headaches drag on, the congestion makes it hard to sleep, hard to focus, hard to feel like yourself. Here's what most people don't actually know. Sinus infections keep coming back because your sinuses can't fully drain. That's why the pressure, the headaches, and the congestion keep coming back time and time again. Balloon sinuplasty gently opens your sinuses in a quick, in-office procedure, so the infections can finally clear. At Murfreesboro Sinus Center, they've helped thousands of patients break free from the sinus infection cycle, so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and finally feel like yourself again. Don't wait another season fighting sinus pain. Call Murfreesboro Sinus Center today at 615-649-4590 to see if balloon sinuplasty is right for you. Call 615-649-4590. That's 615-649-4590.
Are you looking to buy or sell real estate? I'm Betsy Maples with Maples Realty and Auction, and we've been selling property in Middle Tennessee since 1969. Whether it be traditional listings, sales, or auctions, let us visit your property and help you decide what method is best for your situation. Call Maples Realty and Auction today, because it's our people that's the difference.
Maples Realty and Auction.
Sold by Maples Realty and Auction.
Mills Family Pharmacy.
Here at Mills Pharmacy, we do compound medications.
Craig Buckner with Mills Family Pharmacy.
Compounding medications are prescriptions that are not commercially available, or you need a special formulation. If it's a liquid, suppository, or specialized cream, we make that in our lab.
Mills Family Pharmacy offers a wide range of compounding, all to create custom medications for you.
We're at 2994 South Church Street, next to Toots.
Customized services at Mills Family Pharmacy.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
Rutherford Issues with Bryan Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Use caulk or weather stripping to seal leaks around your windows and doors. Stop those drafts, one of the quickest ways to lower your winter bill. More energy-saving ideas at mte.com/myenergyplan. It's time to catch up with James Price of the Better Business Bureau. And James, are you ready for whatever Mother Nature throws our way?
Oh, it seems like there's going to be a trip in the grocery store in the near future, Maybe we're going to hunker down at home, make sure you have plenty to eat and videos to watch, and we'll see what happens there.
I was watching a video, and this guy was talking about he's created this system that can go through and track the inventory at grocery stores of like milk, bread, eggs, that kind of thing. Did that during the pandemic, and so pulled it out here during this ice storm. And it is amazing how many people buy just bread and milk and eggs. Those are the three. So I guess, milk, bread cereal, or I don't know what they're going to do with all that milk and bread.
Well, it's that's always been the strategy. That's why in the grocery store they put them in the back, so you have to walk past everything else and fill up your cart along the way. So
yeah, for me it's Little Debbie's. I've gotten my little snack cakes all ready to go. The Valentine snack cakes are out there, so But
it's another season upon us.
Oh, I know. I was going to say, if you're getting Valentine's, things, and that's all out in the stores. And I got my lovely W-2 form this week in the mail. I know you're probably, if you haven't gotten it, you'll get it before the end of the month. That just is always a reminder that Uncle Sam has his hand out.
That's right. It is tax season. And, there's a lot of different things about tax season that we can talk about. How to choose a tax preparer, avoid being ghosted by your tax preparer, IRS Taxpayer's Guide to Identity Theft, accountants, tax preparer, simplify your finances. All these things you can find on bbb.org, getting ready for tax season. Of course, out of all these different ones that, we have to choose from, of course, what we kind of default to is what are the tips to avoid tax scams in our area, what to look out for. And so let's just talk about that today a little bit, how to avoid those tax scams overall. And we'll start off with the tips, how to avoid tax scams, because this is really where the rubber meets the road. And really the best way to avoid tax identity theft is to file your taxes early as possible. File before a scammer can use your information to file a fake return and get your money. And so as soon as you have all the documentation that you have, go ahead and do it. People who just wait and procrastinate, that money kind of stays out there like, I guess like on a money tree for the scammers. They just kind of pick it off the tree. So, get in there, get it done. Of course, I don't know if it works the other way. I don't think it works if you owe money, if the scammer will go in there and pay it for you.
I've never found one.
But if you're getting money back, then you definitely want to go in there and file your taxes early. Either way, you want to file as early as possible.
Filing as early as possible helps with that. But there are so many pitfalls and so many different ways that scammers, I know you're going to share a lot of these, and ways to kind of be on alert for that.
Yeah, absolutely. In the United States, jot down your personal identification PIN, your PIN number from the IRS before you file your return. It's a 6-digit number that confirms your identity and your social security number. It's important to note that you cannot opt out once you get an IP PIN. So once you apply, you must provide that IP PIN each year when you file your taxes. The IRS is going to provide you the PIN online, send you a new PIN each December by postal mail. Visit IRS the IRS for more information about the program, or you can read those tips on BBB. So this is a really good way another good step to make sure that you get it. You're going to get a new PIN every year, and you'll get that PIN in the mail. Nobody from the IRS is going to call and give it to you. They're not going to text it to you, or they're not going to text you and say, hey, we're just trying to validate your PIN number. Can you send me your PIN number and validate it? There's all different kinds of ways once you get your PIN that the scammers might want to get it out of you. So hold those close to your heart.
I bet those scammers are going to know that they're going to figure out a way to try to do that, aren't they?
Absolutely. Which is a good reason why, you're going to get a new one every year, and you'll get it in December. So you don't get it too early to start working on your taxes. And kind of going to number 3 right here, which we just said, remember, the IRS does not initiate contact with taxpayers by email, text message, or social media to request personal or financial information. This includes requests for PIN numbers, passwords, or similar access information for credit cards, banks, and other financial accounts. The IRS just is not going to contact you that way. If you're really in a whole lot of trouble, they'll probably knock on your door. But other than that, they're not going to, send you a text message or any other way to email. They just don't operate that way. So if you start getting email and text messages or stuff on social media for referring to your taxes, or you better do this, or we're going to come get you, you're probably dealing with a scammer. And the best thing to do is just, don't reply.
Yeah, that sounds like a scammer's MO for sure.
Mm-hmm. Next thing is watch for bad grammar and odd punctuation when reading emails and letters claiming to be from the IRS. If you read awkward or poorly worded sentences, weird capitalization, grammar, those are all kind of signs that scam. And that's just not for the IRS. That's for anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you get an email that says that you have an overdue library book and it's all, the grammar's not correct, chances are it's just a scammer trying to get some money from you. If you get tax information delivered electronically from your employer or other entity, treat that information carefully. Download it into a password protected computer, and make sure you have a good password. Don't use password or 1, 2, 3.
How did we both say that at the same time?
Just, think up something original that, the scammers don't already know. You'd be surprised. They kind of do a research every year how many people are using password for their password. And it's amazing how many people do it. It's crazy. Next one, only deal with trustworthy tax professionals and tax preparation services. So, if you go to bbb.org, we have a whole segment on how to select somebody to help you do with your taxes. For many people, it's significant life changes, business ownership, or simply lack of knowledge about ever-changing tax laws make finding trustworthy tax preparer a good idea. That all said, not all tax preparers have the same level of experience and training. And you can find some of those tips on bbb.org, and always look for the seal of a better business, an accredited business. The other thing too is that, we've heard a lot about the big bill this year.
Yeah. Big, beautiful bill. Yeah.
Yeah. So
BBB,
not to be confused with the Better Business Bureau, but there are some tax changes in that for this year. And so that's another reason why you might want to, search out a professional who knows it and who's keeping up with the industry to make sure that you get the most out of your tax return.
Yeah, that is a good thing to remember, because I hear that it was one of the biggest revamps of all of that that we've seen in quite some time. So lots of changes that could affect you.
And talking to a lot of businesses, throughout the year, several of them have said, their tax situation is going to change this year because of that. And so, whether you're a business, you own your own business or whatever, make sure that you know what those changes are. Next one, check out websites carefully to ensure that you access the real IRS website when filling out your taxes electronically or requiring additional information. This also means that if you get an email or a text message that says, hey, here's a link to go file your tax return, you don't want to click on that. You actually want to find the website yourself and go do it. Don't follow a link that somebody gives you. That's just liable to be a very nice setup website where you can fill out all your tax information, hit submit, and it goes right to the scammer who just turns around and files the real tax return and gets all your money back.
Very good information there. We've got time for a few more ways to avoid being scammed during this tax season. I think about 3 or 4 minutes or so.
Yeah. So, when in doubt, contact the IRS directly to confirm any contact you receive is legitimate. If you're talking with a scammer, just stop talking to them overall and contact the IRS independently. Go look for the number yourself from the IRS to make sure that you got the right one. You can find that information on BBB's website. The IRS website is 1-800-908-4490. And of course, you can find those numbers and websites on bbb.org. And of course, if you're a victim of tax fraud, you can contact the IRS at that number. You can also contact the FTC for the identity theft program at identitytheft.gov. Those are some of the key points of avoiding tax scams. Again, I would encourage anybody who's not sure what they're going to do for their tax, go to bbb.org and just look up all the different tax resources that we have. And I'm sure the IRS has a vast amount of tax resources. But I would say out of all this, the number one thing you want to do is get on it early. As soon as you get all your information, get your taxes filed, get them out of the way. We've been told all along that everybody's going to be getting money back. So everybody needs to be everybody but the scammers that are going to get money back this year.
Yeah, we want to make sure that you get your money, So the BBB's website is a great place. I know we talked about scams today, but there are other tips that you have on the website, resources, things of that nature. So, and especially maybe if you're looking for someone to prepare your taxes, there are even tips on some of the questions to ask for that. So a great resource is the BBB website, and hope folks will check it out. James, I know that we're in the doldrums of wintertime here and all as well, but there will be some BBB events coming up in the future here locally, I'm sure, that we'll be telling folks about here in the coming months too, right?
Oh yeah. The next big one we have on our agenda is the Big Blue Bash coming up in the next couple of months. Businesses can get involved with that by reaching out to me at jprice@gobbb.org and learn more about that. And businesses can now register and apply for the Torch and Spark Awards for the best businesses in Middle Tennessee.
All right, so check out the BBB's website. James Price has been our guest this morning. James, I appreciate it. Stay safe in all this winter mess that's coming.
Thank you, Brian.
If you need to find out more about the BBB, bbb.org. Pretty easy to find. Well, for my pal James Price, I'm Bryan Barrett. Until next time, take care out there.
Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home has served Murfreesboro families with compassion and care since 1880. As a family-owned funeral home, we're committed to honoring every life with dignity through traditional services, cremation options, and pre-planning that gives you peace of mind. For over 140 years, we've been here when it matters most. Visit JenningsandAyers.com. Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home, honoring life and comforting families since 1880.
It's now time to take a look at today's death notices. With the latest updates, here is WGNS's Steve Thornton.
Meredith Grace Hayes, Mary Grace, passed away January the 18th at Vanderbilt Medical Center. Meredith was preceded in death by her sister, Kate, great-grandparents Franklin Wade Hayes Sr., Rosemary and Quentin Hall, and Carol and James Ellingwood Bell. She is survived by her parents, Nick and Lauren Bell Hayes, brothers Grant Hayes and Jack Hayes, grandparents Wade and Keitha Hayes of Murfreesboro, and Jeb and Susan Bell of Jackson. A family member says she was a miracle.
Subscribe to Big G TV, local content that matters to Rutherford.